are ready.
Hello, Richard.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Well, I guess we got the makings of a new football team here in Pittsburgh. That's what's the big discussion is here, right?
I think so. I think that's the only discussion. Wow. Um, wow. Now, I do
Yeah.
know a couple of things that you and I might disagree on, however, but
Oh,
but that's okay
all
because
right.
I can't wait. But so tell me, what do you think of this new team?
Uh, okay. I've this took me a while. Okay, on draft night, I wasn't. All right. Here's the lay of the land for me. I wouldn't have picked a quarterback. I didn't think going in they needed to take a quarterback. I thought that Mitch Trubisky was the quarterback, and they would have been all right just doing that. But after they take a quarterback, they were dead set on it. They take Kenny Pickett, the Steelers do. Then I arrive at a position of you've got no choice but to support it. I mean, that's what they did. That's who they selected. That's what they went with. So full steam ahead supporting it. I would have used the pick somewhere else, but they feel as if that's their best option. So I look, I don't mind Kenny Pickett. I wouldn't have done it, but I quickly turn the page and go, okay, support their decision and move on.
But I keep trying to find the right position here.
That's it.
So yeah. Okay. So you didn't want them to go quarterback anyway. So
it's
so
not Kenny Pickett centric. It's just
right.
quarterback in total.
Quarterback in general. You didn't want them to go quarterback. So
Right.
let's say they do go quarterback, and you know they're going to go quarterback. Did they go with the quarterback that you would have selected?
Actually, probably thinking about it. Yeah. Probably. Although the only apprehension I do have is his skill set is strikingly similar to Mitch Trubisky's. So
Yes.
why would you have brought Trubisky in and even wasted a dime or anyone's time?
Well, you do that probably because you don't know. There is an uncertainty of a rookie, and there is still, and I believe he starts day one. And if he doesn't start day one, he's starting at least by game 6.
That's a big discussion point. Stop right there for a minute.
Go ahead.
I think that if you don't start him from day one, that there's not validation of taking a quarterback first and sink or swim, whatever. He's got to start from day one, or why did you do this?
Well, I kind of agree with that. But so, back to the Mitch Trubisky, you knew that Mason Rudolph is, he's like dead man walking, right? So you have now Mitch Trubisky. You got a pretty good group. You got Mitch Trubisky. You've got Kenny Pickett, and whoever in number 3, and they drafted a second quarterback who I don't
from South Dakota State, right?
Yeah, who I don't know. And I'm thinking since that position never dresses anyway, they probably take that route and keep that guy as their number 3, and they have 2 solid number 1, 2. Because I do like Mitch Trubisky. And I do think that their skill sets are equal with a big age gap in between. And he's not a bad alternative. I love Kenny Pickett. I just do. I love Kenny Pickett. And I think that the only thing about Kenny is, people say, well, he didn't do this in his prior year. But, look, he grew, he made the adjustments. Man, the kid took a lot of chances. He could have come out the year before, which is what he wanted to do, and he didn't.
Most people who bet on themselves and make the decision earlier. They don't bet on themselves and then have to perform and have an elapsed time. He did it. Most guys bet on themselves and would jump in the draft a year early as opposed to wait in college and do it a year late. I give him a ton of credit. He did make a really good point, as did his agent. He's never gone through a year since junior year of high school where he didn't improve. He's improved every single year. And that's a pretty good point that they made.
That's actually a great point. I didn't hear that point, but you phrased it really nicely, I think, right now when you said that he bet on himself. I didn't really think of it that way, but he really did. He bet on himself, and that's such confidence. And he went out and performed. So, yeah, I mean, that's really, really cool way to look at it. I'm excited. Of course, who's going to probably end up getting him as a spokesperson, of course. We're in the works. We're trying to do that, hopefully. Hopefully we have Mr. Pickett driving a brawny F-150 if we can get any. We need to
Yeah.
find one first.
Yeah, I think you could find one for Kenny Pickett, perhaps. We'll see.
I'm hoping. But
Yes.
but anyway, so I'm excited about that. And I'm so excited about the entire Steelers team. The other thing that I didn't realize was that Matt Canada was involved in Kenny's going to Pitt.
His recruitment, not his coaching. Yeah, he
Not his
left just
coaching. So
just
and he
soon
left.
thereafter.
He left that year, and I'm not sure why he left. Do you know why he left?
Well, he took that job. He left to go to LSU. LSU paid him a gazillion dollars to be their offensive coordinator. So he went there. Then he stopped off Maryland on the way back here. But LSU, you can't say no to LSU. I mean, they have more money than any NFL team. So he left there to be the offensive coordinator.
Right. So, and that's exciting that they've spoken. They know each other. They've progressed together, apart, but together. And I think that's going to be a really exciting dynamic. I keep hearing about this exciting Matt Canada offense, and, we never saw it last year. And again, people always say, some people have said to me, geez, why do you talk bad about Ben? I'm not talking bad about Ben. I'm simply saying that last year, the last 2 years were just horrendous. And we built poor performing offenses around a quarterback that might have been better served sitting on the bench.
I can tell you this. This is one time in my whole Steeler fandom, in my life pretty much, and I'm 45 years old, that the Steelers looked and surveyed the scene. And if you really think about the last 2 drafts, they drafted a quarterback, a running back, a tight end, 2 receivers this time, an offensive lineman in green, an interior offensive lineman. They have said, we're going young. We're getting with the times. We are really, really, and these are all top end guys. Yeah. We're trying to catch up with the AFC North. We're trying to catch up with the league. And especially from that skill position standpoint, running back, 2 receivers, and quarterback, we're putting it out there and we're all trying to kind of match age-wise and match at a certain time where we hit a crescendo at the same time to match what we already have on defense. They've really not done that before, Richard.
I agree with you. And I think I like the way you laid that out. Yeah, I agree with you. Then that brings us back to the defense.
Right.
Right. And Devin Bush, year 5, not getting picked up. What's that say?
Some people rise up in the state of controversy or whenever their feet are held to the fire, so to speak. I don't think Devin Bush will be the starter on this football team come Halloween time.
Who is?
It'll be Spillane. It'll be Miles Jack. I think it'll be those 2 guys.
I love Miles Jack.
I don't think if you saw Bush play, and when he was healthy, he was good. But when has he showed the aptitude, either on or off the field, to take something that didn't go his way and turn it into motivation? I've never seen that. So why would that begin now? He may shock me. He may surprise me. But like we saw Bud Dupree turn it into a glaring positive and really in a contract year play exceedingly well. But Bud Dupree was wired different than Devin Bush always was. I think the Steelers, they surprised me because I thought they would offer that 5th year because I felt it was safe. They didn't do it, and I think they're on to something.
Yeah, I think Miles Jack is what they're on to. I love him. I'm not a Spillane. I'm not a Spillane detractor. I'm also not a fan yet, only because I don't know. I'm not sure. But Devin Bush, I was a fan year 1. I thought he flew to the ball. I thought he kept the speed and the intensity of the game. But I don't know. I don't know where he goes now. But I do love Miles Jack. Love him.
Oh, absolutely. Let me ask you something, too. They took 2 receivers. They took a receiver in the 2nd round and a receiver in the 4th round, a receiver from Georgia and a receiver from Memphis. The Steelers fall under a little bit of criticism because the guy that they took 2nd from Georgia has a bit of I don't want to say checkered past, but a couple questionable characteristics. He might not be the best team player. He squirted a water bottle at an opponent one time. He likes to talk and yak. The Steeler fans and the people just talk about that because Antonio Brown was here, Martavis Bryant was here, or do they need to be more careful in who they take, particularly at wideout? That's a known diva position, I guess. You worried at all?
No,
All
no,
right.
I don't think it's the position. I think it's the generation,
Yeah.
if you will. I
Yeah.
think, and I think that, are we talking about the 5'8" receiver?
No, we're talking about George Pickens from
Oh,
Georgia. Yeah, the
okay.
5'8" receiver from Memphis is going to be. He right now is the fastest Pittsburgh Steeler. Before he
4
played,
is he a 4.3?
he's an absolute burner. Yes, the one from Memphis.
4
Yeah,
4.3.
Calvin Austin. He can fly.
Yeah, 4.3. I don't know, but he's 5'8". What happens to 5'8" guy? What was Antonio Brown? How tall was he?
5'10".
Yeah, so 2 inches is nothing.
Right.
Right? Yeah, so I'm excited about him. I love the receiver. I don't not the diva thing doesn't bother me at all.
No.
But
No.
I still like Juju. I do. But here's the thing. This has to be Deontay's year. He cannot drop passes because they're going to be in the air. We're coming. So he has to really make this a very special year. He really does.
Well, that's part of the thing too that I wonder if drafting two receivers insulates themselves from if he's not great or if they don't decide contract wise to go ahead and give him something very long term. Or if Claypool ends up being not that great. This to stockpile receivers, they've not really done this before with rookies. They've gone and got some free agents, but they've not done this with rookies before. And it's very interesting the tack that they're taking.
Well, I like the idea. The only thing I like about Juju being gone is it breaks that Juju Claypool bond, and hopefully, the party stuff and all the fun stuff can stop, and Claypool can play football because when that young man plays football, there is nobody better at that position.
I
Nobody.
really wonder what happened. The first 6 games of his career, 8 games of his career,
11 touchdowns.
they're talking about John Stallworth stuff and
Yeah.
the skills that he has and the things that he can do. And then it seemingly just spiraled downhill. And
I
he
felt like that was
changes everything
social.
you want to do.
Yeah, I feel like that was more social. I really do because he's got the talent. The young man is just a badass, man. He really is. That ball goes up in the air, he's coming down with it. At least he was. When he played his first 6 or 8 games, was that 11 touchdowns he had?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like a rookie record.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Now, I saw something that you and I sometimes we don't agree. We're going to agree to this, and this was something that was almost like a mistake. These bookmaking houses, these online casinos, and the casinos all over the place that have just taken off. The over under for Steelers win. And keep in mind they're playing 17 games now, right? The over under for Steelers wins. That was the average from 3 different places that I saw, and it was almost like a mistake for me. 7.5. There's no season you can go into, none at all, with Mike Tomlin as the head coach and think he's going to have a losing season. Even if they go 8-9, you would still win that bet. Isn't that? And I know, different people are betting to different degrees. And I'm not really a betting guy all that much. 7.5 is the easiest bet in the world that they're going to win at least 8 games, isn't it? He won't let them only win at 7 games. Could they go 7-10?
I'm going to shock you.
Do you think it?
They're going to win the division.
Yeah, they're sure as heck going to win more than 7.5 games, right?
They're going to win the division. Where can we get those odds? We'll put $1,000 on it.
FanDuel right now. FanDuel. I saw it this morning. 7.5 is the over under. Oh, it's I think -110 on both. So it pays. You get paid your money back pretty much. It's almost even money.
Yeah, we got to do that.
You bet 1,000, you get like $950 back.
Yeah, we definitely got to do that. It's crazy. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Listen, I really do. I just think this team's going to surprise everybody.
Huh. Do you think they're going to win the division? Okay. Will they win the division because Cincinnati and Baltimore don't play well, or will they play better than them? And those teams will be – because that's a real question.
I think first of all, I think Jumpin' Joe in Cincinnati, I think he's a one and done.
I agree with you that he's gone to the only Super Bowl he'll ever go to.
You notice these glasses, however?
Uh-huh.
These are Jumpin' Joe's glasses.
You did get those. You say you were going to get those. You know where he got me? Where he, the week between the couple weeks between the AFC and championship and the Super Bowl, he started feeling himself just a little bit too much for me. He
Did you see his
became
suit? How about that suit?
he thought he was Joe Namath a little bit, and I was a bit much. That, and I'll make another. I'll give you another thought.
You're going to
I
tell
think
me Baltimore's quarterback's going to suck.
we've seen the height of his career.
I think so too. I love you. This is why we do this.
I don't think he has the defense that he once had. He doesn't have Hollywood Brown anymore. He's mad at the world about things, and he's never getting younger. He's accumulating more hits. I think we've seen the height of Lamar Jackson's career.
I think so too. Can we talk real quick about an undrafted free agent?
Let's do it.
You might not know him, but he is an undrafted free agent. Tennessee signed him, and he's my daughter's friend and my daughter's boyfriend's best friend. And he's kind of crazy, and
Yeah.
he can play.
What's his name?
His name is J.P. Patrician. Do you know?
Oh, yeah. He started at Penn State, then he transferred to Pitt.
Yes.
He is a kid from up Natrona Heights area.
That's right. That's right.
I know everybody, Richard.
You really do.
Yes, he could be Johnny Patrician too. He's not always JP.
Oh, okay. Well, I only know him in reference as JP.
He is a tough as nails kid, and he changed Pitt's defense this year, I thought, when he was on it. I thought he was super for Pitt.
You remember, didn't we interview oh no, maybe that was with Bubba, but sorry. But we interviewed the coach, and he just had nothing but praise for him. Remember?
Yes, so he got invited to Tennessee's camp.
He did. Yeah. And possibly it was San Diego also, but it's San Diego, Buffalo, and Tennessee. And he chose Tennessee. But man, we've got to wish that young guy all luck in the world.
Oh, absolutely. He's one of those hard worker Western Pennsylvania kids. He came in, and like I said, I thought at linebacker for Pitt, he changed the complexion of what they wanted to do on defense. He was that good that they could trust to move the other guys around, because he was always going to carry out his assignment and be very, very good. Patrician was Central Catholic kid, just a tough, good kid that always knew his assignment.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Hey, he can always model and be a male model too, because
there's that. Well, there's a spot, because I didn't take one. I could have, and he could have mine, because I fell into some other things.
That's so funny. But JP, all for you, buddy.
Yeah, go get them. All right. There's lots going on. Steeler mini camp. We'll get into Steeler camp. All of that. Anything else?
Kevin Colbert. One last thing.
Oh, yeah. He retired.
Who's going to do it?
I still say Brandon Hunt, but they're sure. Here's where they wouldn't have drafted Kenny Pickett and brought in somebody from the outside. It's got to be Brandon Hunt.
So I agree that it's got to be somebody from inside. I really do. They would never have done that without. If they were going to do that, they'd have that new GM involved. Somebody is already involved. They would not just spring that on him. So it's either Brandon Hunt or Omar Khan.
Yeah, or maybe both. Maybe both in
heightened roles. You remember saying that a long time ago?
Like almost a year ago.
Yeah, and I said no, they wouldn't do that. But I am so inclined to think that could be the case. I really am. And that wouldn't be a bad thing for either of them, really.
I agree.
Because Brandon could certainly build on what Omar's knowledge is, and Omar, in the talent base, could really, benefit from that too. But I'm an Omar guy, that. So
yeah, but if you have two talented people, why not lift them both up instead of trying to limit what their skills are?
Well, the division of labor sometimes becomes a little confusing. You want to make sure that everybody has a clear understanding of what their role is. And, sometimes that can get a little confusing, but by doing that, but I do see a great fit for both of them if that were to be the case.
Absolutely. Well, summertime, it's getting here.
Kevin Colbert, we love you. Thank you for all the wonderful years.
Absolutely. All right, Richard, great stuff.
Well, it always is when you're involved. Thank you so much, Colin.
Hey, off the air, Richard. Oh, are you still there? Gone. Perfect.